When we think of vampires, we often picture creatures of the night. They are predators, wrapped in charm and elegance. But beneath the surface, there's something else at play. Something we might call dark psychology. This isn't a formal scientific field, but rather a way to describe certain personality traits. These traits include a strong sense of self-importance, a talent for manipulation, and a noticeable lack of empathy for others. It's about understanding the darker side of human nature, the part that seeks control and power, often at the expense of those around them. These concepts give us a framework, a lens through which to view some of fiction's most compelling villains. Lestat de Liancourt, from Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, is a perfect subject for this kind of study. He is not just a monster who drinks blood. He is a complex, charismatic, and deeply troubled individual. He pulls others into his world, not just with force, but with promises of eternal life and beauty. He is a teacher, a tormentor, and a lost soul all at once. Looking at him through the lens of dark psychology allows us to move beyond the fangs and the cape. It helps us explore the very human-like flaws that make him so fascinating and so terrifying. He is a puzzle of contradictions, and that is what makes him so enduring. Dark psychology helps us ask uncomfortable questions about characters like Lestat. Is his cruelty born from his vampiric nature, or was it always a part of who he was as a human? We see him use his charm to get what he wants, much like a real-world narcissist might. He isolates his victims, making them dependent on him. This is a classic manipulation tactic. He seems to feel his own pain deeply, yet he is often blind to the suffering he inflicts on others. This selective empathy is a key feature of many dark personality types. By applying these ideas, we can start to piece together the mind of the vampire. The character of Lestat isn't just a simple villain, he's a reflection of our own fascination with power and control. He is beautiful, powerful, and immortal, yet he is also deeply unhappy. This duality is what draws us in. He represents the seductive nature of darkness. He promises freedom from death and human weakness, but the price is one's own humanity. Understanding the psychological mechanics behind his actions makes him more than just a scary story. It turns him into a case study of what can happen when a powerful personality is completely unchecked by conscience or compassion, making his tale a timeless exploration of the human psyche's shadows. In Anne Rice's original 1976 novel, Lestat is introduced to us through the bitter memories of his fledgling Louis. This Lestat is a force of nature, impulsive, cruel, and seemingly without a shred of remorse. He is described as a magnificent creature with golden hair and a dazzling smile, but his beauty hides a profound emptiness. He treats his new family, Louis and the child vampire Claudia, like dolls in his private playhouse. He is their creator and their captor. This version of Lestat is a true predator, enjoying the power he holds over his companions. He seems to operate on pure instinct and desire, with little thought for the consequences of his actions. Then came the 1994 film, which gave us Tom Cruise's unforgettable portrayal. This Lestat was different. He was more of a rock star, a flamboyant showman who reveled in the performance of being a vampire. While the cruelty was still there, it was mixed with a theatrical flair and a palpable sense of loneliness. He seemed desperate for companionship, even if he didn't know how to nurture it. This Lestat was less a cold-hearted monster and more a tragic, overgrown child, lashing out because he didn't know how to connect. His darkness was coated in a layer of glamour and camp, making him both alluring and pathetic, a figure you couldn't quite bring yourself to hate completely. Most recently, the AMC television series has given us yet another interpretation, with Sam Reed taking on the role. This Lestat is perhaps the most psychologically complex of them all. He is a master manipulator, a textbook narcissist who uses love as his primary weapon. The series delves deeper into his relationship with Louis, framing it as a deeply toxic and abusive romance. This Lestat is intelligent, calculating, and fully aware of the pain he causes. He weaponizes his affection and his vulnerability to keep Louis under his thumb. The darkness here is not just about killing, it's about the slow, deliberate erosion of another person's will and identity for his own selfish needs. Across these three versions, the core of Lestat remains, a powerful, charismatic vampire who creates others to soothe his own loneliness. However, the flavor of his darkness changes significantly. The book gives us a raw, almost feral predator. The movie presents a lonely, theatrical performer, and the TV show offers a calculating, emotionally abusive partner. Each version holds up a different mirror to the character, reflecting different facets of his personality. The constant is his profound self-obsession and his inability to truly love anyone more than he loves the idea of being loved himself, making him a fascinatingly consistent yet ever-changing figure. If we were to place the book's Lestat on a psychiatrist's couch, the diagnosis might point towards antisocial personality disorder. This condition is often characterized by a disregard for the rights of others, impulsivity, and a significant lack of remorse. The Lestat we meet in the novel fits this description quite well. He kills without a second thought, not just for sustenance, but for sport. He manipulates Louis and Claudia with a casual cruelty that suggests he sees them as objects, not individuals. His grandiosity and charm are superficial, a mask he wears to lure in his prey. This Lestat is a classic psychopath, unable to form genuine emotional bonds. The movie version, played by Tom Cruise, presents a slightly different picture. While he certainly has antisocial traits, his personality seems more aligned with narcissistic personality disorder with histrionic features. He has an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep-seated need for admiration. His every action is a performance, designed to make him the center of attention. His dramatic emotional displays and flamboyant style are hallmarks of a histrionic personality. Unlike the cold psychopath of the book, this Lestat's cruelty seems to stem from his narcissistic rage, a furious lashing out when he feels ignored, abandoned, or not sufficiently adored by his companions. The TV series Lestat, portrayed by Sam Reed, is arguably the most clinically precise depiction of a malignant narcissist. This diagnosis combines the grandiosity and entitlement of narcissistic personality disorder with the aggression and sadism of antisocial personality disorder. This Lestat doesn't just want admiration, he wants total control. He uses tactics common in abusive relationships such as gaslighting, love bombing, and isolation. He meticulously breaks down Louis's sense of self until Louis is completely dependent on him. This version is terrifying because his malice is so deliberate and psychologically astute. He knows exactly what he is doing, and he derives a clear sense of power from Louis's emotional suffering. Comparing these diagnoses reveals the evolution of our understanding of dark psychology. The book's Lestat is a monster in a more straightforward, almost primal sense. The movie's Lestat is a product of 90s glamour, a self-obsessed performer whose danger is wrapped in spectacle. The TV show's Lestat reflects a very modern understanding of psychological abuse, making his evil feel more intimate and relatable. Each adaptation zeroes in on a different aspect of his pathology, from pure psychopathy to a complex web of narcissistic abuse, showcasing how the same character can be a vessel for different fears across different eras. The way each adaptation portrays Lestat's darkness offers a unique window into his soul. In the novel, his evil is stark and unambiguous. It is the evil of a predator that sees the world as its hunting ground. When he turns Louis, he does it on a whim, to relieve his own boredom. When he creates Claudia, it is a cruel joke, trapping a child's mind in an immortal, unchanging body. This darkness is primal and absolute. It is frightening because it is so unfeeling. There is no deep, hidden motive beyond his own selfish desires. He is a beautiful monster, and the horror lies in his complete lack of humanity. The film softens these edges with a layer of theatricality. Lestat's darkness is more about performance. He teaches Louis to kill with a flourish, treating murder like a grand opera. His most cruel acts are often followed by moments of apparent regret or loneliness, suggesting a man at war with his own monstrous nature. This makes his darkness feel more tragic. He is a prisoner of his own immortality and his insatiable ego. The horror here is not just what he does, but the sense that he is trapped in a cycle of creating and destroying companions in a desperate, failed attempt to cure his own existential despair. His evil feels less like a choice and more like a compulsion. The television series presents his darkness as a form of toxic love. Here, Lestat's evil is deeply personal and psychological. It is the intimate cruelty of an abuser. He doesn't just kill people, he dismantles the psyche of the person he claims to love. The show spends time exploring his own traumatic past, offering reasons for his behavior without excusing it. This makes his darkness feel insidious and chillingly real. It is the horror of being trapped in a relationship with someone who uses love as a cage. This portrayal is perhaps the most unsettling for a modern audience, as it mirrors real-world patterns of emotional and psychological abuse. Ultimately, each version of Lestat offers a different answer to the question of what makes a monster. Is it the cold, unfeeling killer, the tragic, lonely performer, or the manipulative, controlling lover? They all capture a different shade of darkness, from the primal to the psychological. Each interpretation reflects the anxieties of its time, whether it's the fear of the unfeeling predator or the all-too-familiar horror of a toxic relationship. The character's enduring power lies in his ability to be all these things at once. So I leave it to you to consider which Lestat feels the most truly dark, or perhaps the most frighteningly realistic.